Everybody, it's Victor. Something need run here. The Binding of Isaac Victor Repentance Plus series. Happy Monday, Mosh Pit. Oh man, start to a brand new week here, and I think that we definitely could all use a cleanser after yesterday's episode. We did have another video crossing 2,000 likes. We are on a bona fide like streak and on pace to breaking the like streak goal this week. So if that happens, then Sunday will be the beginning of Missing No theme week here, and man, what a way to kick off the holiday season with that. So thank you all very much for the support. Here's your Mosh Pet of the Day, submitted here by Sedito Sets on the Civica subreddit. Title thread was, even she was mad that you didn't use Dad's key with the wild card for the Omega run. And in the thread, they also said her name is Aisha or Isha, and she was shocked at the amount of colors on the screen. Yeah, I don't know if, can cats see color? I don't actually know that or not. I'm a dog person, obviously, but There was lots of colors and there was lots of sadness because I honestly didn't even know that we had Dad's Key queued up with wild cards. So, yeah, thank you very much. Let me know if it's Aisha or Isha. He is going to be 3 Yankee Quebec Papa Zulu 6 Sierra 8. We got D Bizzle, the original D Bizzle, Rainbow Worm, which I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of right now, and blank card with no card. So. Honestly, our tiers and damage are really, really good to start off with an Eden run. Our movement speed's doo-doo. Shot speed's great, though. Range is okay. Yeah, well, we just need some HP here, a couple of good items, and we are on a roll here. We were already better. We already have higher DPS than we ended with on yesterday's run. And it's curious. By the way, if you haven't watched yesterday's run, tune out for a second. You should have. First off, shame on you. Secondly, if you didn't watch yesterday's run, it's interesting to see whether or not how different that run would have been. Oh my gosh. Had that run happened where it's just a normal Blue Baby run. And it's one of those times where I think that we could allow something like a Mosh Pit votes type deal, where if people vote for it, we could do a rerun, a sort of like, just a side mission, side episode, to see what would what is this start? Random Magic Mush, hello? After getting a random Binky? Oh my goodness. Well then, happy November, everybody. Thanksgiving week. Good Lord. What an insane start this is. This might be the best start of the year. Well, it's not best start of the year, but it's definitely real good. We've been getting so fortunate in these early floors lately, except for yesterday's run. But yeah, that'd be one of those things where if the Mosh Pit says, hey, you know what, I'd love to see a side-by-side comparison of that run versus the other one, let me know. I think it would be interesting, too, if I could get Alex to do a side-by-side edit. Like, maybe not a full run, just with full commentary and everything, just a full rerun, but he could splice in, what was in this room, what was our HP at, what was our money at, would it have made a difference? I think that'd be interesting. We're going to the last piece of question of the episode here from the Miraculous episode, which obviously was a very fun Mercurius episode with some teleport meta. Hijinks. This one coming in from Austin Martin 2927. You say, question of the episode, how do you determine what topics you talk about in any video? Do you have a running list of things you want to talk about, or do you just come up with topics on the fly? It's a good question. Honestly, it's 100% stream of consciousness commentary. That's what I've always done. I just sort of talk and talk and talk and talk. Whatever's on my mind, I just say it. I don't have a list. I don't have any bullet points that I want to go over or anything like that. For example, me completely remembering that I forgot Lost Soul Buddy in that one episode 2 episodes later. It's like that was one of the funniest things to me anyway that I've made myself laugh at. I was thinking to myself, how does that happen? Do other people's brains work like that? Really? You remember something days afterward and be like, But no, it's all part of just stream of consciousness commentary. I've got a good filter in place for my brain, and I've been working on getting rid of stutters and that sort of thing. I think everybody stutters if you're just speaking naturally, and obviously I don't do a script or anything like that. These aren't pre-recorded. I just simply just say what's on my mind, and it works. People enjoy it. I think that if you can speak naturally, then it's a little bit more engaging with people who are watching these every single day or using these as a podcast, and being able to be eloquent and articulate whatever's on my mind has always been kind of a thing of mine, which I've been pretty good at. And honestly, at the transition from going from bartending really taught me a lot about being able to speak publicly, and you know, because I had to work for tips, and I sort of work for tips now, except it's just a different environment, but also the same environment as a bar. You know, you're trying to make people happy, listen to them, make them feel special, and you know, and really truly care about not. I mean, you can't care about everybody. You got to care about some people, though, and I do care about my audience, obviously. We get Marrow here. Need a Yave though. One of them Yaves. Well, we can get Gimpy, but it's going to cost us our Bone Heart, which kind of stinks. Unless. Oh, we got it in first tap anyway. Wow. Dude, what is happening on this run? I still would like to get a key. We have 17 cents. Maybe it's here? I mean, sure, why not? On a run this lucky, why not just get everything that we want? Maybe the game's feeling bad for yesterday's run? I don't know. Because we even get ourselves Mom's Purse. And the Locust of Pestilence, which is a nice little starter trinket. The Magician, Reverse Magician, I don't know. I don't think I've ever used that with blank card, but we about to find out. There's another question of the episode from last week's episode here. This one came in from, I just lost it. I accidentally scrolled up. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I lost it. I've lost it. It's gone. Gone forever. But somebody did say, Varga, who's been a longtime member of the Mosh Pit MVPs, said, not sure what the like streak problem is, but I'm still here trying to like the video daily and watch it fully. Keep it up, Sin. Thank you, Barga, very much. It definitely seems like we've gotten through some of the worst of the rough patches. I think, honestly, part of the problem was the algorithm, and that didn't help things. But also, me not fully explaining what Missing No Week was probably the biggest factor, and I take responsibility for that. It really is an impossible mission to try to figure out exactly what's going on with YouTube at any given moment. It always changes. But going back to the question of the episode, it is something that I've been proud of myself for doing. There's too much stuff that goes on, and too many people saying dumb things on YouTube when they could just simply think about what they say first. And very, very early on, I learned how to do that, because I knew that if I were going to try to make it in this industry, then something like that would have to be done. I mean, you gotta think. I've always wanted to put on a good professionalism sort of vibe, without being too serious, obviously. But you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to be professional. I never thought of myself as a public speaker, and I still don't, kind of. But you know, it is a nice skill to have. I can strike up a conversation with a wall if I have to, as you all know. Go on the cursor. I'm going to lose a soul heart here. Maybe gain one. Nope. Diggity Yave. What are them Yaves? We also had Fruity Plum. There's just a fly that's going to deal damage sometimes. She does deal contact damage as well, which is not too bad. Great snipe there by Locust Pestilence. Oh my goodness, look at this. What a fantastic start. We get car battery. Okay. We can get our soul heart back too. Man, oh man. We're living the high life right now as compared to yesterday. And I mean, you know, we got that magic mush inside of a secret room. I'm just saying. Whether or not there was a magic mush, wow, we got all that money we just spent right back. Whether or not there was magic mush in one of those secret rooms on yesterday's run, I mean, who knows? Really the only downside for doing like a lot of heavy editing stuff is that the time it takes for Alex to edit it, and then I also of course pay him for his time as well, which I don't mind doing, but it doesn't always make sense to just edit a video every idea that I come up with, as that would be a very expensive endeavor, which Alex is definitely worth. I've got English speaking down pretty well, but now I got to get it's boring now. Now I got to get an Espanol degree, and then on to German, then on to Norwegian, and then I have to learn how to fake an accent, particularly an Australian accent. That's you crazy buggers are the wonkiest. But yeah, if the stars align here, everybody, we get we just need three more on the tally, and that will get us the Missing No theme week unlocked. And on top of that, it'd be fantastic to get it done by this week. If today's video, tomorrow's video, and I do want the world card for mapping. Yeah, I'm just going to take that. Having a hermit card teleport is nice, for sure, but mapping is mapping. It's only on a 3-room cooldown, dog. And also, on top of that, a 2-room teleport's also pretty nice. Teleport meta. But if we have mapping, we don't need teleport meta. No way. But if everything lines up here for us, that's going to be a really awesome timing for Missing No week to start on Sunday. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be wacky. It's going to be crazy, kooky, and hopefully not too dangerous. Got to be careful we don't roll into any secret room item. And because that's the time for TM Trainer to strike, and there's just no turning it around if we get TM Trainer. Missing No, there's no way to get rid of Missing No at all. Once you get it, you got it. I've always thought that was kind of dumb, but it's programmed like that so the game knows don't re-roll this, because it's the only way we get true randomized runs here with Missing No. Also, we're good on HP, game. I'm ready for some stats here to go along with our Magic Mush. Thank you very much. Flying, which of course is great, and I am going to stick with the world card. Head on down. Out to Cornwell 4156, who said Curse of Lost right after mapping was on my bingo card. Yep. You know it. I know it. It's written. As was written. He's on Al-Edneeb. Isaac Ebe? Sounds better after Isaac. Release on Isaac Ebe. Isaac Aib. Dune, by the way. Sometimes there's a tinted rock in that room, which is what I was looking for there. But obviously, anytime we get flying is just going to improve the run, and this is going to be no exception here. with restock, we have enough money to possibly make a big run on the shops as well. And what are you? The Hermit card. The clubs. Lover's card. Okay, it's getting too expensive now. I'm gonna stick with the world card. We could use some more Bombas. Let's go back and get the Bombas. And we can do a little bit of a neat trick here. We do that. Get a grand total of 1 bomb. Very nice. We did it. And then we can use the Ace of Clubs again in a room that gives us more than 1 bomb. Like this one here. Ace of Clubs. So we basically prime the blank card by it's going to set itself to the cooldown that is whatever card we use it with. In this case, it's going to be a 6-room cooldown with the Ace of Clubs. And then, since we know we're not going to keep it, we just use it again. So you basically get a 2-for-1 special right there. We've really got to start getting some damage. Not that we're in trouble, but I would like to see some more damage. Our scaling is fantastic, but the game is not giving us stuff. It's just giving us garbage boss room items like HP and Gish. So we have to rely upon the devil deals here. It's a very poor place for you to land there, Gish. I'm all for it. Hey, you know what, Gish, you can sit this one out, buddy. And Curse the Blind on our boss rush. All right. Okay, game. All right. If that's how it's gonna be, that's how it's going to be. Look, I'll take a nice easy peasy Monday. You just say the word. I've got a lot of ball pit to record. I probably will be turning up the runtime of ball pit a little bit. By the way, this also completely screws our restock. Let's go to the shop so I can at least deposit some money in our donation machine. Yeah, I mean, there's no way to see what we've got here. I'm gonna buy a couple of soul hearts just to get us to almost a full rack, and then we just deposit the rest. Bingo, bango, bongo. We got ourselves a done runo. Maybe 1 runo. Okay, well, like we're heading back to the shop. I mean, we might as well, right? Because we're even though we got boss rush, I mean, there's no reason to even hurry unless the only exception now that I see I'm looking at the map here is if that is a 5-room. If that's a 5-room, then we actually get a second chance here at not only another shop, but boss rush. But I mean, what are the odds of that happening? It's like 0. I would take the full card just in case. Let's just go see what's in the 5-room. I would still like to get at least the negative and then the Polaroid. Yeah, I mean, our DPS is good, man. I wish we had a little bit more scaling. There you go. Got another yabby. Hey, you Australians got a crazy accent. I've hung around plenty of them. Back in my horse racing days. Petrified poop. I don't really care about it. It is a global D20. Mom's ring gives us damage. Look at that, 2.28 damage. Black rune as well. We can go into boss rush, use Black Rune, and then use the Fool card to get out, just to get the stats. And that potentially has a lot of stats behind it if we get the, especially if we get the eight item boss rush. So definitely we have nothing to lose here by going into boss rush at this point with a Black Rune. That could be a huge drop for us. All right. Wait, no, I can't take the Black Rune because we have the Fool card, you idiot. Well, let's see how many items are there. It might be worth sacrificing the world card for this. I don't want to, of course. We had a way of getting... if we had starter deck, we'd be able to hold both. Yeah, I'm thinking about upping the ball pit length for the videos by maybe an extra run. We've typically been doing 3 per video, but I might do 4 per video. It really kind of just depends, especially if I'm playing the Tactician, which I probably will never play again, to be honest. The Tactician turns ball pit into a sort of a, I guess a not a real-time battler, but a turn-based battler, and it's a very curious decision, and otherwise very, very well-designed game. 4 stats, man. This could be good or this could be bad. I'd be giving up the world card to do this. Gotta be Dry Baby. Ghost Baby. I'm gonna take the Petrified Poop over the Game Kid. Or Game Cartridge. Hopefully we find another world card. That'd be nice. So, and yes, we can go back into boss rush. By doing this, then we go... Huh. We got damage and range. That was it. Now we have to do boss rush. So, I mean, we got damage and range. We definitely needed both. But is it worth doing an entire boss rush for? It's debatable. Now, we're going to be able to do it. I don't know about how safely, but we definitely will be able to do it. Our movement speed is right on the cusp of what I would consider acceptable levels. My preferred movement speed is 1.55 to 1.7. Anything over 1.7 and I'm unhappy. As finicky as that sounds, it's just true. There's a very defined limit before Isaac starts for movement speed before Isaac starts sliding around like he's on ice. We also got the champion boss rush, which is certainly lucky, depending on how you look at it. God, that was almost the schmoove of all schmooves right there. Look at Uncle Holy Water. Oh, beast mode over here on the champion Gurglings. We almost got rung up there by that bomb fly. That HP bar made no sense. We definitely spent way more time DPSing Gabriel than we did with Husky. This has been a really, really rough boss rush here. They've been giving us pretty much all the strongest variants of each mob. There we go. Good freeze there by Uncle Holy Water. We are not even halfway done yet. Another great freeze by Uncle Holy Water. Just going crazy. Then it's my old nemesis. This jerk. Red Mega Maw. Luckily, we outrange him by a lot. And Green Dookie, too. Yeah, this is a brutal boss rush. Really, really brutal here. The game is literally spawning all of the worst variants. I mean, look, even double blue Gurdy. Still carving them up, though, like walnut pie. Yeah, it would have been cool if we had gotten some more stats for Magic Mush. Really slowed down towards the second half of the first half. It's a very confusing sentence to someone who probably does or does not speak English. Translate that one, auto translators. Again, I don't know how Stain died first before Adversary, because we were just wailing on him. Gurglings, non-champion Gurglings. Obviously, there's no champion variants of the Angels. There we go. Start using my rocket in a jar here and totally whiff. We end it all with Chub and Pin. That was a cool pattern there, Pin. You look like one of those deep sea jellyfish that has the luminescence. Spider Butt. It's Spider Butt. All right, give us our world card back, game. Did make the best banana bread I've made so far today. I know it might seem like I'm not much of a baker, but I'm pretty okay at baking. I made the best chocolate chip cookies I've ever made this week, and now I've made the best banana bread. And the secret is browning the butter. That is just an absolute flavor enhancer. I know I talked about it on stream. I don't remember if I talked about it on a YouTube video. I might have. We talked about everything at this point on YouTube. Sometimes eventually we run out of things to talk about and just repeat a couple of subjects over and over again. But because I've forgotten them, it's like, oh, it's nice and fresh in my mind. This just happened the other day. Yeah, I've learned the magic that is browning the butter before you bake cookies, or this time it was more of an experiment with banana bread, because I can make banana bread very, very quickly, and I frequently have bananas in my house, and I never eat all of them. So being able to just recycle them and turn them into something delicious like banana bread is just amazing. You're using 100% of the food that you buy instead of like 60%. So I did my usual thing. I usually use mayonnaise instead of butter, but I just so happened to not have any mayonnaise today. And I know I know what you're saying. You're like, mayonnaise. Bro has lost it. Trust me, mayonnaise is great. Mayonnaise is great for making grilled cheeses. It's great for making. It's just eggs. It's just an egg substitute, a binder substitute, or in this case, a butter substitute. And they come out. They're not greasy. They don't have a weird taste or anything like that. It's just good. We got to go to the wheel part of the wheelchair here on the map. But I just so happened to not have any today. And I really wanted to make banana bread for girlfriend Victa, Papa Victa, and Mama Victa. Papa Victa really likes my banana bread as well. And these bananas were probably one day away from being tossed because they were very ripe. They weren't in that sort of shrinking mode yet. You know, when the bananas start to shrivel, they get so old they start shriveling and everything starts turning black and everything. They weren't quite at that level, but they were probably a day or two out. So it was time. It was time for me to intervene on their behalf. Catch my drift. So I didn't have any mayo, and I had previously done the chocolate chip cookies with brown butter, and that completely elevated the cookies to just a different level. So I thought to myself, I said, well, you know what? What happens if we do brown butter in banana bread? Surely it can't make it worse. But what's funny is that I'd never learned how to. I never learned really what the proportions were for butter in banana bread because I'm so used to making it with mayonnaise. So it was a little odd, but I eventually estimated and got it down. So I also did something else, two other things that I did different, which is maybe not that different for other people, but for me, I don't usually use these other two things. And that was add some vanilla extract and brown sugar. I absolutely love brown sugar, but never used it in banana bread before. Other Curse the Blind. Cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers. So I figured, why not? I'm going to make an experimental loaf. How often do you get to say that and mean it in life? So my experimental loaf was part, and Sty is destroying things right now. Secret room's below here, by the way. There's just no point of us going in there with Curse the Blind. At least we got a tarot card that we can use with a blank card here. So it was an experimental loaf, and I browned the butter. I mixed it in. I knew from my very, very limited cooking experience, I've never taken a class or training or anything like that. I didn't even take home ec. But I've been cooking for myself for a very long time, and I'm a pretty good cook. And I know that you don't want to pour hot butter on cold or room temperature eggs that you just cracked into the bowl to mix with the bananas and everything. So the reason why you don't want to do that is because you don't want to accidentally cook the eggs. You don't want them to turn into scrambled eggs. So I knew that much at least. No, the secret room's definitely not here. It's in that other spot I talked about. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking to wait because I just had the bananas sitting in the mixing bowl, and I was waiting for the eggs, and then I finally, after about 6 or 7 minutes of letting the butter kind of cool down, I put the eggs in, and the butter was still kind of warm. I was a little bit worried about them scrambling, but I basically just started to pre-mix on my stand mixer, which was given to me by Rowan Husky for a homecoming gift. Or a housewarming gift. Not a homecoming gift. It's been a little bit since I've been in high school. Just a bit. Oh, we just got 99 keys next to the car battery. You'd think that car battery would affect the duration of our chariot card, but here we are. Also, it's a 12-room cooldown now for the 2 of spades, which seems a little excessive. I firmly believe that I don't think any active item should be more than 6. I think 12 is ridiculous, including including a Mega Mush and Mega Blast, and Larynx as well. And also, nobody cares about the jar of everything. But I feel like whenever I try to experiment, I always kind of go overboard. And I didn't want to do it this time because I really, really wanted to use those bananas before they went bad and turn them into something delicious. So I poured the hot butter in, and or warm butter. It was warm. I didn't want it to get too cold though because I didn't want it to re-solidify, and you lose all those nice toasty, sort of nutty flavored milk particles, milk solids that you've taken painstakingly roasted in butter, in itself, basically. Pretty metal when you think about it. We're roasting the butter in itself. Kind of metal. So I did that, and then I added the brown sugar in first because I already had my dry mixture, all-purpose flour, baking soda, salt, and regular white sugar. So I had all that ready to go, and I mixed in the brown sugar with the butter and the eggs and the bananas that had already been mashed. And the stand mixer that I started, and by the way, for the dry mixture, I sifted the flour and fed it through a sifter, so it's a little bit less clumpy and it's easier to mix, incorporate with the sugar. And then I added the sugar, I added the baking soda, added the salt, and then I just hit it with a whisk to mix it all up together. And then I slowly. What's neat about the stand mixer is that it has like a plastic lid. It's not a lid, but it's a plastic rim that has an opening, but also has a little bit of a slide. It looks like a little water slide that you can feed dry and wet ingredients through without having to just dump a whole bowl in at a time. It regulates the amount that you add. It's a really fancy stand mixer that Ro got me. So yeah, so I did that, and the eggs look good. The texture was a little bit thicker than I'd like it to be, and I was a little bit worried about that because of the extra. I thought maybe the extra bananas that I had added in there. I usually use 3, but this time I used 5 small-ish bananas. They weren't super big, but I was worried that did something to the chemistry of it all. Maybe the fibers in the banana or whatever. Or the fruit sugars. So the texture was a little bit thicker than it usually is, but the taste was good, the smell was good, and it got the batter. The batter was approved by Taste Test through multiple sources, and threw it in the oven. And when it came out, it did take a lot longer than normal banana bread to actually bake all the way through. I like to do I think everyone does the toothpick test. You should, because that's how you know that banana bread is done, is if you stick a toothpick in. Did I say toothpaste? Toothpick. Look, it's late at night while I'm recording this right now, okay? Yeah, car battery definitely does affect blank card and chariot card here. That's great. So if you put a toothpick inside of banana bread all the way down, and you have the dough, you have the batter sticking to the toothpick, that means it's not ready. It means it still needs some more time in the oven, if you know what I mean. I have no idea where Isaac is here. Trying to maintain polar invincibility. Okay, I legitimately have no clue where we're going here. You won, Curse Lost. You won. The great irony is that even if we had the world card, we still wouldn't know where we're going. So, congrats, game. We absolutely did a full clear here. Crawl space. But I'm happy to report that it was the best banana bread I've ever made. The texture was perfectly fine. The only difference, and this is the best difference in my opinion, was that the crust was actually a crust. It wasn't, it's a little crunchy. Think of it like a, what would I equate it to be? Picture kind of like a slightly more well done cookie. It had that kind of cookie crunch to it, but not overly crunchy. It was a nice crunch on the outside, and then in the inside, the meat of the bread, if you know what I mean. That was really, really, really soft. I mean, super soft. And man, that crust is amazing. It's nice and sweet. There's a little bit of salt flavor on there, but not in that weird sweet salty way, but in the good chocolate salty sort of way, you know what I mean? Sugar and salt type way. And the bread tastes phenomenal. I mean, you can really, really taste the brown butter. It's a little bit nutty, even though I don't like to put walnuts or cashews or whatever people put in or pecans in banana bread. It's just straight up good. And I'm preaching the word today. Oh, I wanted to see if we did a full clear. Hang on. You can get mad at me if you want. I don't care. I need to see if we did a full clear on that last floor. Just for my own amusement. We did not, but we almost did. I'm gonna hit myself and get rid of Black Candle, obviously. So I'm here to preach the word of browning your butter. You definitely want to brown your butter before you make. If you're making cookies, or just try it. You don't even have to listen to me. Just try it if you happen to be a homemaker or anything like that, or just enjoy baking like I do. Next time you make banana bread, go for it. Remember your boys Invicta told you, he hooked you up. Anyway, that's how remarkable this run has been. I've been talking about banana bread for the last 15 minutes and 4 floors. It's been a good run. Really, it's been a phenomenal run. After that start, there was just no going back. The lover's car, which doesn't really matter. I'm a little bit upset that we lost both of our bone hearts, but and I'm going to go clear this other room before going into that next room. Because you know the game's going to make me want to go to the big room, and then it's probably going to be a dead end, but you never know. Yeah, it's hard to mess up a Magic Mush start. Okay. Here's the dead end we were looking for. So yeah, I told you the game's gonna force us through there. My God. Infestation. We have a full charge now. You know what's weird about this is that the wings of Lord of the Pit are green. We look like a mint chocolate chip cookie. With once again we got the Patrick Mahomes hairstyle. The broccoli alpaca look. I wouldn't be able to pull it off. First off, I don't have curly hair. That'd be, there you go. That's gonna be next year's sub goal on YouTube. We get to 500,000 subs, I will rock the Patrick Mahomes alpaca broccoli cut. How about that? That's a deal in the making right there. We get to 500,000 YouTube subs, and I will wear that for the entire year, or at least for the rest of the year. We got more Ball Pit coming out. We got more Nuzbonk coming out. People still really enjoying the Nuzbonk series. If you don't know, if you haven't seen the Megabonk series, it's sort of a sub-series of Megabonk. Nuzbonk is a mode that I came up with, which essentially plays like a Nuzlocke, but in Megabonk, where you can't take any upgrades until you have 4 tomes and 4 items, or 4 weapons, and it's basically just like an Eden run, except in another game, and I think that's really cool. And a lot of people agree with me. Thousands of people agree with me, actually. Megabonk is one of the best performing non-Isaac series that we've ever done. I say we, but me. Okay. All right, game. I see we just wanted to extend our play time here, huh? This run should have been over probably 15 minutes ago, had I kept the world card. Yeah, I won't be doing that again. If we get blank card world card, I'm just gonna hold on to it forever. People who've been asking about Chaos Zero Nightmare, I am going to start making content on the gaming channel, as I don't think it's going to. I don't know honestly how it would do on the main channel. I really don't. We were about to get hit there. It'd be a very, very long form runs, because I would be doing the main meat and potatoes of the game, which is the roguelite Slay the Spire dungeon crawl mode. Very Darkest Dungeon-esque. And those runs can take a very long time, so it's going to be long form content. But the gaming channel would love it, because we had the Lobotomy Corporation on there, and then also Monster Hunter Stories 2 was on there a while ago. And yes, I am very much looking forward to Monster Hunter Stories 3 to do a full playthrough on that. So notice how that Chariot card didn't last nearly as long as the ones that were influenced by blank cards. It's because it does not take into account us having car batteries. This is just a card. And we're going to end it with the body and kidney stone. So what a run. What a great start here to the week, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. And yeah, let me know your feedback about Missing No Week. What do you expect from it? Do you think we can hit it before Sunday? I'd love to. It'd be great timing. And also let me know what your favorite Thanksgiving dish is, if you do celebrate it. Mine's always the ham. I know it might be a boring answer, but I love ham. Mama Victa makes the best ham. She makes the best mac and cheese, not mac and cheese, but mashed potatoes and gravy. Oh my gosh. Dude, we're only 3 days away, and I'm stoked. So thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you click that like button, leave a comment down below. Thank you for supporting the channel. As always, everyone, have a good start to your early holiday week here in the Mosh Pit. And as always, see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks to patrons of mine like OWTF Lol, Missy, Old Hispanic Guy, and Cool A. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find over at patreon.com/Invicta.